Are you ready to break free from the grip of fear and unlock your true potential? Fear doesn't define you, it's just a feeling, and it's time to face it head on. In this video, we'll explore how to turn fear into your greatest ally and push past what's holding you back. Let's dive in and discover how courage can lead us to a life of growth and success. It's one of the most powerful forces we will ever encounter in our lives. It is universal, timeless, and deeply ingrained in the human experience. Fear has been with us since the beginning, serving as both a protector and a challenger. It alerts us to danger, pushes us to think critically, and can even save our lives. But fear is also the barrier that stands between where we are now and where we want to be. It is the silent force that whispers doubt into our minds, paralyzing us and holding us back from becoming the person we are destined to be. Today I want to talk about fear not as something to be avoided, but as something to be faced, understood, and ultimately conquered. Fear has a purpose, but it should never be allowed to dictate the course of your life. Too many dreams have died in the shadow of fear. Too many people have settled for mediocrity because they were afraid to take the next step. Fear convinces us to stay in our comfort zones where it's safe and predictable, but also stagnant and limiting. And the irony is that the very things we want most in life, the success, the growth, the fulfillment, are often just on the other side of fear. Fear is not your enemy, but neither is it your friend. It is a teacher, it is a test. It is the universe asking you, how much do you really want this? Every time you face fear, you are given an opportunity to rise, to prove to yourself that you are stronger than the doubts in your mind. When you run from fear, it grows, but when you face it, it shrinks. Fear loses its power the moment you look it in the eye and take that first step forward. Think about the times in your life when you let fear dictate your decisions. Maybe you didn't apply for the job you really wanted because you were afraid you weren't right. Maybe you stayed silent in a room when you had something valuable to say because you were afraid of being judged. Maybe you didn't pursue a dream because you were afraid of failure or even success. Whatever the reason, deep down that fear has cost you something. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to anymore. Fear only has as much power as you give it. The moment you decide to act in spite of it, you reclaim your power. Fear will always be there. You cannot eliminate it entirely, nor should you want to. The goal is not to become fearless, but to be courageous. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Courage is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It's what separates those who dream from those who don't. And the difference between success and regret often comes down to one moment, one choice. Do you let fear stop you? Or do you push through it? Fear will try to convince you that you are not enough. It will tell you that you're not smart enough, strong enough, not talented enough. But fear is a liar. The truth is that you are more capable than you can imagine. Every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who felt fear but acted anyway. The pioneers who explored uncharted territories, the inventors who brought groundbreaking ideas to life, the leaders who stood up for what they believed in, all of them felt fear. But they didn't let it stop them. They used it as fuel. But you have that same potential within you. The question is, are you willing to step into the discomfort? Are you willing to embrace the uncertainty and take the leap? Growth and comfort cannot coexist. But if you want to grow, you have to be willing to leave the safety of the known and venture into the unknown. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you might fail, but failure is not the end, it's a step. It's a lesson. Every failure brings you closer to success if you are willing to learn from it and keep going. Fear thrives in the dark. It grows when we avoid it, when we ignore it, when we pretend it's not there. But the moment you shine a light on it, fear begins to lose its grip. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is it failure? Rejection? Judgment? Loss? When you name your fear, you take the first step toward disarming it. Most of the time, our fears are based on worst-case scenarios that are unlikely to happen. Even when they do, the reality is often far less devastating than we imagined. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer you wait to act, the stronger fear becomes. But the moment you take even the smallest step, you start to build momentum. You start to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. Confidence doesn't come from wishing away fear, it comes from taking action despite it. With every step forward, you build a reservoir of courage that you can draw on the next time fear shows up. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be brave. Fear loves isolation. It wants you to feel like you're the only one struggling, the only one who's afraid. But the truth is, we all face fear. Talk to the people you admire most, and you'll find that they battle fear just like you. The difference is they didn't let it win. They chose to believe in themselves, to trust that the risk was worth the reward. Life is too short to let fear dictate your path. Every day is a gift, an opportunity to create something meaningful, to make a difference, to live fully. They ain't wasted hiding from fear. Don't let fear rob you of the experiences, the relationships, and the achievements that could define your life. And the regret of not trying is far greater than the pain of failure. At least when you try, you know you gave it your all. And you can look back and say, I was brave. You were not born to live a life of limitation. You were born to shine, to grow, to thrive. Fear will try to dim your light, but it cannot extinguish it unless you let it. You have a choice every single day to listen to the voice of fear or the voice of possibility. Choose possibility. Choose growth. Choose courage. The world needs people who are willing to take risks, to dream big, to stand tall in the face of fear. You are stronger than your fears. You are capable of more than you know. And the life you want, the life you deserve is waiting for you on the other side of fear. So take a deep breath, take that first think, and keep moving forward. Fear may walk beside you, but it does not get to lead. You do. This is your journey, your story, your moment. Don't let fear steal it from you. Step into your power. Embrace the challenge. And remember, the greatest things in life are scariest at first, but they are always worth it. Fear is universal and inevitable. Fear is an integral part of the human experience, touching every life in some form or another. It transcends boundaries of age, culture, and circumstance, making a universal emotion. From the earliest moments of life, fear serves as a natural response to perceived threats, helping us survive and navigate the world around us. That is what kept our ancestors alert to danger, and it continues to protect us in moments when caution is necessary. Whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or loss, every individual faces their unique battle with this emotion. What makes fear inevitable is its deep connection to uncertainty and the unknown. Life is full of unpredictable moments, and with uncertainty comes the natural instinct to be wary of what lies ahead. This wariness is not inherently negative, it's a survival mechanism designed to prepare us for challenges. However, fear often extends beyond immediate danger and infiltrates our minds, creating barriers even when no real threat exists. It manifests in subtle ways, making us hesitate, overthink, or avoid situations that could lead to growth and opportunity. Fear is also deeply personal, yet shared by all. The form it takes may vary. One person might fear public speaking, while another fears solitude, but the core feeling is something we all understand. This shared experience connects us, reminding us that fear is not a sign of weakness, but of being human. Acknowledging its universality can help reduce the stigma around fear, making it easier to confront and overcome. When we see fear as something everyone encounters, we begin to realize that it does not make us less capable or less deserving of success. Ultimately, fear is a natural and inevitable aspect of life, but it does not have to define us. Recognizing its universality helps us see that we are not alone in our struggles. More importantly, it reminds us that fear, while powerful, is not insurmountable. By accepting its presence, we can focus not on eliminating fear, but on learning how to navigate it. This shift in perspective allows us to grow stronger and more resilient, turning fear into a stepping stone rather than an obstacle. Fear is a barrier. Fear often acts as an invisible barrier that holds us back from reaching our true potential. It creates a wall between where we are and where we want to be, keeping us confined within the safety of our comfort zones. While comfort zones may feel secure, they also limit growth, progress, and self-discovery. Fear convinces us to settle for less, whispering that it's better to avoid risk than to face the possibility of failure or rejection. Over time, this avoidance leads to missed opportunities and unrealized dreams, leaving us wondering what might have been. The power of fear lies in its ability to distort reality. It magnifies the worst-case scenarios and makes challenges appear insurmountable. Even small steps forward can feel overwhelming when fear is in control. For instance, the fear of public speaking may lead someone to avoid expressing their ideas, even if those ideas could make a significant impact. Similarly, the fear of failure can stop someone from pursuing their passion or taking a leap toward a better future. In these moments, fear becomes a self-imposed limitation, restricting what we believe is possible. But what makes fear particularly challenging is that it often operates subtly, disguising itself as practicality or caution. While some level of caution is healthy, fear-driven hesitation can prevent us from taking the risk that's necessary for growth. We might justify our inaction by convincing ourselves that the timing isn't right or that we're not ready yet. However, these excuses are often rooted in fear, not reality. The truth is, we grow not by waiting for fear to disappear, but by acting despite its presence. Every time we let fear dictate our choices, we reinforce its control over our lives. To break free from the barriers created by fear, we must confront it head-on. This doesn't mean eliminating fear entirely, as it will always be a part of life. Instead, it means recognizing fear for what it is, a temporary feeling, not an unchangeable truth. When we face our fears and take even small steps forward, we begin to dismantle the walls it builds. Each act of courage weakens fear's grip and strengthens our belief in what we can achieve. In doing so, we transform fear from a barrier into a bridge, leading us closer to life we truly desire. Fear is a teacher. Fear, while often seen as a negative force, can be one of life's most profound teachers. It reveals areas where we need growth and challenges us to confront the aspects of ourselves we might prefer to ignore. When fear arises, it signals an opportunity to learn about our vulnerabilities, limits, and untapped strengths. For example, the fear of failure teaches resilience by showing us how to adapt and persevere when things don't go as planned. In this way, fear becomes not a roadblock, but a guide toward greater self-awareness and development. Fear often pushes us to explore the boundaries of our comfort zones. It forces us to evaluate what truly matters and to prioritize our goals. A person afraid of public speaking might realize that their fear stems from a deeper desire to be understood and valued. By facing this fear, they can develop the confidence to share their voice, ultimately discovering new capabilities within themselves. Fear encourages growth by making us uncomfortable enough to seek change, propelling us toward a stronger and more capable version of ourselves. What makes fear such an effective teacher is its ability to highlight the gap between who we are and who we want to become. It exposes the areas where we may lack preparation, confidence, or clarity, urging us to address those weaknesses. For instance, fear before a major challenge can motivate preparation and effort, ensuring we approach it with optimal mindset. Each encounter with fear provides valuable lessons about persistence, focus, and adaptability. By embracing fear rather than avoiding it, we unlock the wisdom it offers. Ultimately, fear teaches that growth is born from discomfort and that courage is built through action. Instead of viewing fear as an obstacle, we can choose to see it as an invitation to rise above our limitations. It reminds us that life's most meaningful achievements often come from moments when we dared to face what we once thought impossible. By learning from fear, we gain not only new skills and perspectives, but also the confidence to tackle future challenges with a spirit of resilience and determination. Courage overcomes fear. Courage is the force that allows us to face fear head-on and move forward despite its presence. It doesn't mean the absence of fear, but rather the decision to act in its midst. Fear often tries to paralyze us, whispering doubts and magnifying risks, but courage steps in as the counterbalance, reminding us of our strength and moral. It's through acts of courage that we prove to ourselves that fear, while powerful, is not insurmountable. Each courageous step taken diminishes fear's control and builds our confidence. What makes courage so transformative is its ability to shift our perspective. Fear tends to focus our attention on what could go wrong, amplifying our insecurities and doubts. Courage, however, redirects that focus to what could go right and what stands to be gained. For instance, someone afraid of starting a new venture may find that courage allows them to embrace the possibility of success rather than being consumed by the fear of failure. And this shift empowers us to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. Courage also serves as a reminder that fear is temporary, but the rewards of overcoming it can be lasting. When we choose courage, we step into the unknown with the understanding that discomfort is a necessary part of growth. The act of facing fear, even in small ways, builds resilience and fortitude. Each moment of bravery strengthens our ability to confront fears, creating a positive cycle of confidence and action. Over time, what once seemed daunting becomes manageable, and what once felt impossible becomes achievable. Ultimately, courage overcomes fear by proving that action is stronger than hesitation and that belief in oneself can conquer doubt. It shows us that fear does not define our limits. It is merely a test of our determination. By choosing courage, we embrace the idea that our potential is greater than our fear. This realization not only helps us overcome immediate challenges, but also equips us to face life with a sense of empowerment and purpose, no matter what fears may arise. Fear's lies. Fear often distorts reality, presenting exaggerated scenarios and creating doubts that feel overwhelming but are rarely grounded. It tells us lies designed to keep us in our comfort zones, convincing us that failure is inevitable, rejection is unbearable, or that we are not capable enough to succeed. And these false narratives feed our insecurities, making us second-guess our decisions and underestimate our potential. Fear's lies are subtle yet persistent, shaping our thoughts and actions unless we actively challenge them. One of fear's most deceptive lies is that it portrays risks as far greater than they actually are. It magnifies the stakes, making every step forward feel like a leap unknown with the catastrophic consequences. For example, fear may make a person believe that taking a new job or pursuing a passion will lead to certain failure, when in reality it might be the very decision that transforms their life for the better. Fear thrives on worst-case scenarios, but these imagined outcomes rarely reflect the truth. Fear also lies by convincing us that we're alone in our struggles, as though our fears and insecurities are unique or a sign of personal inadequacy. In truth, fear is a universal experience, and most people grapple with the same doubts and uncertainties. By isolating us, fear makes it harder to seek support or recognize that courage is within our reach. This false sense of isolation can lead to inaction, robbing us of the chance to grow and connect with others who share similar challenges. To overcome fear's lies, we must recognize them for what they are: distortions, not truths. When we question the narratives that fear presents, we often find they lack substance. Taking action, even in small ways, exposes fear's falsehoods and reminds us of our capability and resilience. Fear may never disappear entirely, but refusing to believe its lies will reclaim our power and open ourselves to the possibilities that lie beyond its illusions. Each step forward reveals that fear's hold was never as strong as it seemed, and our potential is far greater than we dare to believe. Action is the antidote. Action is the antidote to fear because it directly counteracts the paralyzing effect fear has on our minds. When fear arises, it often makes us hesitate, overthink, and second-guess ourselves, leading to inaction. The longer we delay, the stronger fear's grip becomes, feeding off our uncertainty and creating a cycle of avoidance. However, when we take action, no matter how small, we break that cycle. The simple act of moving forward diminishes fear's power, showing us that the risks we imagined were often less threatening than we thought. Taking action allows us to confront fear directly, forcing us to face the unknown with courage. It's easy to let fear grow larger in our minds when we remain passive, but once we begin to act, we often realize that fear was an illusion. Whether it's speaking in public, applying for a job, or pursuing a new opportunity, each step forward proves that fear's grip weakens when we make progress. The more we act, the less power fear holds over us, and the more confident we become in our ability to handle whatever challenge lies ahead. I enact fear by allowing it to dictate our choices. Every time we let fear stop us, we reinforce its power and create a barrier between us and our goals. But by choosing action, we begin to take control of the narrative. Each decision to act builds momentum and creates a sense of accomplishment, which boosts our confidence and diminishes the fear of failure. When we face our fears through action, we not only diminish their hold on us, but also gain invaluable experience that prepares us for future church jail. Ultimately, action is not just a way to overcome fear, it is the way forward. It is through action that we transform fear from a source of paralysis into a stepping stone toward growth. And the more we embrace action, the more we prove to ourselves that we can rise above fear and that our potential is limitless. Every step forward, no matter how small, serves as a reminder that fear is temporary, but our ability to act is what truly defines us. Growth requires discomfort. Growth is inherently tied to discomfort because it is through facing challenges and pushing ourselves beyond our limits that we develop and evolve. Staying in our comfort zone may feel safe, but it doesn't lead to personal progress or achievement. When we remain in familiar, predictable situations, we miss out on the opportunities that require us to stretch and adapt. Discomfort, on the other hand, signals that we are stepping into uncharted territory, where real growth happens. It's in these moments of unease that we are forced to learn, adjust, and ultimately transform. Discomfort also plays a critical role in building resilience. Each time we face a difficult situation and push and strengthen our ability to handle future challenges. The discomfort we experience while learning a new skill, confronting our fears or overcoming failure, is what prepares us for the bigger obstacles ahead. It builds mental and emotional toughness, teaching us that we are capable of handling far more than we initially thought. This resilience is what allows us to take on even greater challenges with confidence in the future. What often holds people back is the fear of discomfort itself. Many avoid difficult situations because they equate discomfort with failure or inadequacy. However, discomfort is not a sign that we are doing something wrong. It is an indication that we are doing something right. Every time we push the discomfort, we take a step toward becoming a better version of ourselves. It is in these moments of struggle that we often make the most significant breakthroughs, whether it's in our personal lives, careers, or inner growth. In the end, growth requires discomfort because it is through facing and embracing the uncomfortable that we unlock our true potential. Avoiding discomfort may provide short-term relief, but it ultimately limits our ability to achieve greatness. And the most successful and fulfilled individuals are often those who have learned to lean into discomfort, understanding that it is an essential part of the process. By accepting discomfort as a necessary part of growth, we give ourselves permission to grow, evolve, and ultimately become the person we were always meant to be. Failures are lessons. Failures are not the end of the road, but rather valuable lessons that teach us more than some minor. When we fail, we are given the opportunity to analyze what went wrong, adjust our approach, and try again with newfound insight. Failure is a powerful teacher because it forces us to confront our weaknesses and reassess our strategies. Each failure provides critical feedback that helps us grow, refine our methods, and become more resilient. Rather than seeing failure as a setback, we should view it as an essential part of the learning process that propels us forward. One of the most important lessons that failure teaches is perseverance. It is easy to be motivated when things are going well, but it is through failure that we truly learn how to handle adversity. Failure challenges our resolve and tests our commitment to our goals. Each time we fail and get back up, we develop greater emotional strength and determination. Failure teaches us that the road to success is rarely linear and that setbacks are simply part of the journey, not a reason to quit. Additionally, failure encourages innovation and creativity. When our initial efforts don't work, we are forced to think outside the box and come up with new solutions. Many of the world's greatest inventions and breakthroughs were born from repeated failures. A process of trial and error, though frustrating at times, often leads to unexpected discoveries and innovations. Failure pushes us to think critically, adapt, and find better ways to accomplish our goals, ultimately leading us to success in ways we might not have anticipated. Ultimately, failures are lessons that shape our character and increase our chances of success in the future. They teach us patience, humility, and the importance of persistence. Embracing failure allows us to develop a mindset that sees obstacles as opportunities rather than threats. When we learn from our mistakes and apply those lessons, we not only increase our chances of success, but also gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and what we are truly capable of achieving. Failure, therefore, is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a stepping stone on the path to greater success. Shine a light on fear. Shining a light on fear means bringing it into the open and confronting it directly rather than allowing it to lurk in the shadows of our minds. When we avoid acknowledging fear, it grows larger and more intimidating. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the unknown, and the longer we leave it unchecked, the more it controls our thoughts and actions. However, when we face fear head-on and examine it closely, we often realize that it is not as overwhelming as we once believed. By bringing it to light, we take away its power and begin to understand its true nature. Many of the fears we experience are based on imagined scenarios or past experiences that are not always reflective of reality. When we shine a light on fear, we strip away the layers of exaggeration and distortion that it builds around itself. For example, a fear of failure may seem paralyzing, but when we assess the actual risks and potential consequences, we often find that they are not as severe as our mind led us to believe. By examining fear from a rational perspective, we can see that it is often more of an emotional reaction than a genuine threat. Shining a light on fear also allows us to take control of it rather than allowing it to control us. When we acknowledge our fears, we gain the opportunity to challenge them, question their validity, and choose a different response. Instead of letting fear dictate our actions and prevent us from moving forward, we can make a conscious decision to take courageous steps despite it. This shift in mindset enables us to approach fear with confidence, knowing that we have the power to confront and overcome it. Ultimately, shining a light on fear is a powerful way to reclaim our power and take action in the face of uncertainty. It transforms fear from an unseen, paralyzing force into something that we can understand and manage. By confronting fear directly, we not only reduce its influence, but also empower ourselves to pursue our goals with greater clarity and courage. Instead of running from fear, we learn to walk toward it, using it as a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. Surround yourself with support. Surrounding yourself with support is essential when facing fear, challenges, or uncertainty. When we struggle alone, fear can feel overwhelming and insurmountable. However, having a supportive network of friends, family, mentors, or even like-minded individuals can provide the strength and encouragement needed to keep moving forward. Supportive people remind us of our worth, our potential, and the reasons why we should persist, even when fear tries to hold us back. They offer reassurance, perspective, and guidance, helping us to see that we are not alone in our struggles. Supportive relationships also create a safe space for vulnerability. When we feel fear or doubt, it's easy to hide these feelings in an attempt to protect ourselves from judgment. However, sharing our fears with others can be incredibly liberating. In the process, we often discover that others have faced similar challenges and have navigated them successfully. This shared experience fosters connection, builds trust, and helps us realize that fear is a common part of the human experience. Knowing that others understand and support us gives us the confidence to keep moving forward, even in difficult times. Moreover, surrounding ourselves with support can serve as a reminder that fear is not a reflection of our limitations, but rather a signal for growth. Supportive individuals can offer insights, advice, or a fresh perspective that we may not have considered on our own. They may encourage us to take risks, push beyond our comfort zones, and see the potential in ourselves that we might be overlooking. Their belief in us can ignite our own belief in our abilities, helping us to take bold steps in the face of fear. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with support is a powerful strategy for overcoming fear and achieving success. It reinforces the idea that we don't have to face life's challenges alone, and that asking for help or leaning on others is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of strength. By creating a network of support, we create a safety net that cushions us when we fall and cheers us on as we rise. With the right people by our side, we gain the courage to push through fear and pursue our goals with resilience and determination. Life is too short for fear. Life is too short to let fear control our decisions and hold us back from experiencing the fullness of what it has to offer. We are given a finite amount of time, and allowing fear to dictate our actions means forfeiting opportunities for growth, adventure, and fulfillment. Fear often keeps us stuck in the same place, preventing us from stepping out of our comfort zones and taking risks that could lead to personal transformation. When we recognize that time is limited, it becomes clear that we cannot afford to waste it living in fear, constantly holding ourselves back from pursuing our dreams and passions. Every moment spent in fear is a moment we can never get back. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown, these emotions can paralyze us if we let them. Yet when we take action in spite of fear, we open up possibilities and experiences that would otherwise remain out of reach. Life is meant to be lived with courage and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. For it is in those uncertain moments that we often find the greatest rewards. Fear might appear to protect us, but in reality, it limits us from living a rich and meaningful life. Choosing to face fear head-on allows us to make the most of our time on this earth. We learn, we grow, and we evolve as we push through the discomfort and uncertainties that fear brings. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over the very thing that tries to hold us back. When we decide that life is too short for fear, we shift our focus from avoiding challenges to actively seeking them out. We start to realize that taking risks and stepping into the unknown can lead to incredible growth and experiences that we would have missed if we let fear control us. In the grand scheme of things, the regrets we carry will not be about the things we did, but about the things we didn't do because we were too afraid. Life is too short to look back with what ifs or if onlys. When we live courageously, we make the most of every moment, embracing both the risks and rewards of life. The more we let go of fear, the more we free ourselves to experience the world with wonder, joy, and fulfillment. Life is a precious gift, and it's too short to spend it hiding from the very challenges that could lead to our greatest achievements. Fear does not define you. Fear does not define who we are because it is simply an emotion, not a permanent state of being. It's natural to feel fear, but allowing it to determine our identity and dictate our actions diminishes our true potential. Fear is a temporary reaction to perceived threats, whether they are real or imagined. And it doesn't have the power to define us unless we let it. Just because we feel fear doesn't mean that fear is who we are. It's only a passing feeling that can be faced, challenged, and moved beyond. Our true essence lies in our courage, our resilience, and our ability to take action in spite of fear. When we let fear define us, we limit ourselves and shrink away from the opportunities that life has to offer. Fear often convinces us that we are not capable, that we are too weak, or that we are destined to fail. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Our worth is not determined by our fears, but by the choices we make in the face of them. It is the way we respond to fear, whether we allow it to paralyze us or use it as fuel to push forward, that defines our character. Fear can only shape us if we allow it to control our decisions and define our path. We are defined by the actions we take, not by the fears we experience. Everyone feels fear at some point in their lives, whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, but what truly matters is how we respond. Choosing to act in the face of fear, to stand up and move forward despite the discomfort, is what shapes our identity and leads to growth. It is in these moments of courage that we reveal our true strength and capacity for success. Fear may try to hold us back, but it is our decisions and actions that ultimately define who we are. Understanding that fear does not define us allows us to take control of our lives and our futures. It frees us from the burden of perfection and the fear of judgment, empowering us to take risks and pursue our dreams. Fear may be an inevitable part of the human experience, but it is not a permanent condition. It does not control us unless we let it. When we recognize it's just a feeling, not an identity, we are able to break free from its grip and live a life that reflects our true potential and purpose. In conclusion, fear is an inevitable part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to control us or define our lives. It is through confronting fear that we learn, grow, and ultimately become the person we are meant to be. Fear may attempt to paralyze us, but it is in the moments when we face it head on that we discover our true strength and resilience. Every step we take, despite the discomfort or uncertainty, is a victory. Life is too short to be ruled by fear, and it is through action, support, and embracing discomfort that we can overcome it. Remember, fear is not the enemy, it is simply a signal that we are growing. As we continue to shine a light on fear, we take away its power and move closer to the lives we desire and deserve. So embrace fear, take action, and never forget that it is through facing our fears that we ultimately unlock our fullest potential. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope the words shared today have inspired you to face fear with courage, knowing that it does not define you. Remember, each challenge and obstacle is an opportunity for growth. May you continue to move forward with confidence, knowing that your potential is limitless. Goodbye, and may you always embrace life's journey with resilience and strength. Keep pushing forward, and never let fear hold you back from becoming the best version of yourself.